In this video, we'll talk about run-on sentences. A run-on sentence, you might have a vague recollection of what it is, or you might have a wrong impression that it's about a sentence that just seems to go on and on. It went on too long or something, and that's a problem. But that's an incorrect impression of what a run-on sentence is. A run-on has to do with very specific rules about how to put sentence parts together. And to be more specific, it's when connecting two complete sentences, you are doing it without a proper punctuation. So if you have two sentences, normally you would put a period in between. But if you lose the period, or you use a comma instead, or you use something else, then that would be considered a run-on sentence. Some examples here of some errors. I am a boy, period, you are a girl. Those are two clauses or two separate sentences, so that would be okay. I am a boy, you are a girl. Here you still have two sentences, but you didn't use any punctuation. You just wrote them merged together. So this is an error. This is a common type of error that a young student might make. So that's definitely a run-on sentence. I am a boy and you are a girl. In this case, this is also a run-on sentence because you improperly punctuated those two sentences being connected there. So this is a type of error that an older student might make because it seems correct, but the writer doesn't realize that the punctuation is incorrect there. Here's another specific way you can make the same error. You would write, I am a boy, comma, you are a girl. Now, this comma may give you the mistaken belief that you have punctuated correctly, but if you have two separate complete sentences and you used only a comma, then this is called a comma splice. So it's a specific kind of run-on sentence, and that is still an error. So what are the acceptable connections between the two clauses? So here are the acceptable punctuations. You can have a period alone to separate them. So first sentence, period, second sentence. That's perfectly fine because then you have two separate sentences. The other choice is a semicolon. A semicolon is a dot and a comma. Okay, that's your semicolon. You can use a semicolon alone in that position, and you can connect two sentences together. It's like a weak period, and it's used when you don't really want a period. Okay, you want something weaker than a period. You want to keep those sentences kind of together. And the other choice is a comma plus a conjunction, and those conjunctions are your fanboys. You remember the word fanboys. You know it's an acronym for something, but you've forgotten what they are, probably. So let's take a look at them. What are fanboys? These are your words: for and nor, but, or, yet, and so. Why they're important is these are the words that get used when you're trying to fix run-on sentences. If you have a clause and another clause and you want to connect them, you can use a comma and then this conjunction: comma and, comma nor, comma but, comma or, comma yet, comma so. If you have them together in sets like that with a comma and that particular conjunction that belongs to the fanboys, then this is a correct connection between two sentences. So let's look at some examples of how to do this right. I believe in Trump. I will support him. Two separate sentences. You can end it with a period. That's perfectly fine. Now these are two separate clauses, separate sentences. I believe in Trump. I will support him. You can use a semicolon alone. And the difference between the first sentence and this one is that you didn't want these two statements to be separate. You wanted them to stay together as if it's one statement. And so it's like saying, I will support him because I believe in him. So you want to kind of say it together. You think a period would break them apart too much, and then the reader wouldn't see the connection between the two sentences very well. So that's when we use that semicolon. Or you can use a comma and a conjunction, fanboys, right? Comma and, comma so. Or you can use, well, what do we have here? We have, I believe in Trump, comma, therefore I will support him. All right, let's see if this is correct. We didn't use a period. We didn't use a semicolon. We used a comma, and the rule was to use a comma with fanboys. Fanboys. And you know what they are? Now, is therefore one of the fanboys? No, there's not even a T there. So this is not one of the fanboys. Can I use it this way with a comma and the therefore? The answer is no, you may not do this. Okay, because the therefore is not one of the fanboys conjunctions. It is actually an adverb. If you have a comma, you cannot have just a semicolon, just an adverb following it. This is a very common error. But it's very easy to fix. All you have to do is change this to a semicolon. If you made it a semicolon, then you can use an adverb like therefore, nevertheless, and so on.